Here we go.
Good afternoon. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for spending your lunchtime with us today. We'll try and make it a bit more swift of a meeting so that way you can maybe get a little bit more time back today.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Hey, Elizabeth. Thanks for your promotion of us this morning. I super appreciated it. Elizabeth's been just such a champion for us with our upcoming summit, which we'll talk about a little bit later today, but I always appreciate your partnership, Elizabeth.
It's our pleasure.
So as folks are kind of trickling in, you know, we do this purposefully at the lunch hour because we feel like we can get you all, but we also understand it's the lunch hour and folks are taking bio breaks, getting their lunches and, you know, just taking a well-deserved rest from Zoom. So we'll give folks maybe another minute or so to join us and then we'll jump right in. For those who've, you know, hung out with us previously during these types of webinars, you'll know that Lisa's typically the person to do it. But, you know, in good old MHN fashion, we've so much planning to do for the summit. And so, you know, she purposefully entrusted me with today's webinar. But if you have any questions or anything, we can always connect after, okay? All right, so I'm just to be respectful of everyone's time, we're gonna let folks trickle in with us a little bit later, but I just wanna get started today. So the purpose of today is really just to share with you one of the most, I think, valuable things we have to offer for the Maternal Health Network that we just created. We're really excited to unveil these community education bundles, as we're calling it. You may recall if you were at our Action Planning Summit back in last September, our virtual series of events that we held with you guys. You told us, hey, we would really like some consistent communication between all of the 300 partners that are with this network to talk about really critical issues that families need to know. So you gave us a list of 12 items, 12 topic areas. We took that, we did some research on what's going on in messaging at the national and state level and what, who in our network can serve as subject matter experts to actually craft some messaging that can be deployed throughout the network to help you when you're talking with your families about these 12 topic areas. So we have one to release to you today. And we'll talk about that a little bit. We're also going to talk about where this information is going to live for ongoing access on the MHN website, which again is just another thing that we're so excited about with the network and really should always serve in the back of your mind as an information hub, right? Not only for information about the network, but for information about our partners and different resources to help you serve your families. Then the third is just to discuss how you're going to use these bundles and how we can support you in using these bundles moving forward. So we always like to start out our webinars with just a brief overview of the action plan to really ground people in why we did this. We don't come up, Lisa and I don't just come up with these great ideas. It's really you guys coming up with the great ideas, telling us what you need, and we do the work. And we confirm it with you along the way through things like these webinars, right? So just to reorient, there was a strategy identified in the strategic plan for the Maternal Health Network specific to information dissemination. How do we not only reach families in a targeted manner, but then how do we use that information to change their behavior, right? We don't want it to just be information for information's sake. We want it to actually start changing behaviors of families to improve healthy outcomes for babies and moms. So the specific strategy that this this falls under is develop and or distribute marketing materials to support healthy pregnancy and delivery tips and resources which can be used throughout the maternal health network, right? So it's not me and Lisa going out to families, giving them this information. This is really a bundle of information that you can take to support your communications with families. So this is the third of the 3 primary activities that fall under that specific strategy, and it's education presentations. But in maternal health network fashion, we thought bundle was such a cuter term. And so we decided to rebrand it instead of saying educational presentations, which is very technical, to say you get a little bundle that you get to go and take to your families and talk about topics that maybe you're not specialized in, but you can lean on the experts that we've connected with to at least give an entree to these topics. So these are the toolkits that we're going to review together today. The intention was to create really a presentation and supplemental materials for those presentations for each of those 12 prioritized topic areas that, again, you told us. And so we'll review that list in a little bit. The second, which I think is just the most incredible thing the network has produced so far, maybe with the exception of the website, is we convinced these subject matter experts to actually do some videos for us. And so we asked them questions, and they are really the stars of the show, really getting families to see their providers giving this information in short, consumable 3-minute clips that are going to be available for you to download, share on your social media, share on your website, share however you would like to, but it's really just so consumable. And there are videos for both families and providers. So the video that we'll talk about today, or I'll preview for you today, is one that's really provider oriented, talking about how do providers appropriately discuss a particular topic with families. So we're coming at it from all angles, right? We want families to know the information. We want providers to feel comfortable sharing the information. Okay, so let's actually get into these bundles, shall we? These are the 12 topic areas that you told us during our action planning series back in September are the most important topics families really need to know about, right? The calendar or the months that you see there are twofold reasons why we have that there. The first is we actually took these topic areas and mapped them to national awareness months when possible. And so we want to align messaging that you are going to be using with your families with what they may be hearing at a national stage, because we know when you hear information over and over and over again and it's consistent, it tends to change your behavior. And again, that's the purpose of this kind of third part of that strategy. We've moved from just disseminating information to really deploying it strategically to change folks' behavior. So that's the first reason we have this calendar. The second is Lisa and I only have so much time to get with all of these subject matter experts to create a really, really quality bundle. And so our strategy for getting these bundles created is to create them on a quarterly basis. So when you see these months here on a quarterly basis, the first 3 months, we expect to have these first 3 topics available on the website by July of 2021. One is already there, so we're already ahead of schedule. The second, you'll see the second set of 3 topics we actually expect to have on the website available in October. And so this is really a cue for you guys, and it's available on the website of when you can expect to be able to retrieve this information, and we will develop it prior to that alignment with that National Awareness Month when it's available. So the last thing is the stars on the slide actually indicate what's already been developed or under development. We are actually kind of ahead in a few ways because we just have such quality membership, right? People who've said, I'm interested, I'm engaged, and I have the expertise to support you. Now, we do have a couple of, as you'll see, 2 topic areas that we have been unable to really identify someone who can support us with that subject matter expertise to craft those bundles, which comes to my first request of the day. It's not my last, but it is my first. So we're going to launch a poll here in a second to ask you if, and I can actually go back to that slide, if you have expertise or know someone who has expertise in any of the topics that doesn't have a star next to it. And if you do, or you know someone who does, we would invite you to put in the chat if it's either yourself or someone you know, and we will do the heavy lifting. We'll schedule a meeting with you or ask for a warm handoff to that person, connect with them, get their information, and then create the bundle that we'll preview for you in just a moment's time. So Pete, are you able to launch that poll for folks?
Looks like I can. I'm launching now.
Awesome, thank you. So go ahead and just take a quick moment and let us know if you feel like you have any expertise that you'd be willing to, spend 30 minutes of your time with me to give us this information. I think once you see the bundle, you'll be really excited to see how we've been able to take as minimal time as possible from folks and then create a curriculum around it that can be deployed by other partners.
So Katie, is this also where we put in the other person that we think might be best for this?
Sure, yeah, I would invite any and all support from you guys. If you feel like there's a good fit for a topic, like I said, we have the topics with the stars next to them. We already have under development, but it doesn't mean we can include others' opinions along the way. But yes, if you or someone you know would be a good fit for any other topic, please throw that in the chat. All right, Pete, I think we can go ahead and close that poll now.
Okay.
And
We are ending polling now.
perfect, thank you. And it looks like some folks on the line actually do have either yourself or someone you know could help me. So as you all know, I am a really good person to follow up. So I will be in your inbox shortly with that request, either be connecting with you in the short term or that person that you feel is a good fit. And we can go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead. And let's actually take a little preview into what are in these bundles, okay? So there are 4 components in the actual bundle, but we reach beyond that bundle, which I'll detail in a little bit. But these are the 4 primary things we develop based on the subject matter expertise in national best practice research. So there's an educational sheet that we'll preview in a minute. There's a community education flyer, so providers can actually disseminate it and customize it if they're going to host a parent meeting or meeting with their other service providers. There's a community education curriculum, which is a PowerPoint, and not just a PowerPoint, but a PowerPoint with facilitator notes. And so we give you a script on how to articulate this information with families over time, that it aligns with what the subject matter experts really want the approach to be. They know the most effective approach to this information. And the last are these videos that I previewed, which I'll give you a sneak peek in just a minute. First off, let's go ahead and look at what is how these look, right? So as you'll see, I know it's a little hard on the small screen, but I'll give you a minute to look on the website and actually download this information. All of our materials have the ability to be co-branded. And so what you'll do is, as a provider, you'll go on the website, you'll say, I want to talk to families about breastfeeding, which is the topic that we have a complete bundle for right now. And you'll say, okay, I'm going to host a parent forum, and I'm going to put my organization's logo on the PowerPoint, on the flyer. I'm going to put my name, my photo on the flyer. I am going to really customize this and co-brand it to what the Maternal Health Network has crafted at the head of subject matter experts. But I'm going to have a ready-made curriculum for me, so the heavy lifting is really already done. Now the next thing, and I'm only going to show a couple of seconds of it, but this is a preview of the videos that are included in this bundle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kanisha Neal. I am the breastfeeding coordinator with the San Bernardino County Department of Public Health Women, Infants, and Children Program, otherwise known as WIC. And in my experience, what makes families most receptive to information about breastfeeding is just transparency. Sharing the information, being very honest about the common barriers that they may experience along the way, and listening to what they have to say about their thoughts and feelings related to breastfeeding, and crafting the information that you share around what their goals are for them, their family, and their friends.
Okay, so I don't know about you, but I mean, Kanisha's just one of our most engaged and trusted members, and I think she just did a phenomenal job being willing not only to be interviewed on this topic, but really make a video that's consumable both for families and providers. So we're going to actually take a minute and walk through this together. So I'm going to actually pull up my screen in a moment, and I'm going to share with you how to navigate this on the website. Okay, so for those of you who've been on our website, you go to this home page, and you're going to go over to events and resources and provider resources. Now, this has really become a more expanded hub of information than what we had ever been able to originally envision, but it's all for good reasons, right? So if you scroll down just a little bit to really the second section of this page, you'll see MHN Community Education Bundles. Here are the list of 12 topics. We only have one, which currently is Breastfeeding 101, Benefits, Tips, and Tricks, that is available in a fully complete bundle right now. So in the interest of not bogging down my bandwidth, I already had it open. So when you click on that link, you get this page. And the first section is the consumer presentation bundle that I showed you on the slide previously. So again, it has that flyer, that presentation agenda, the fact sheet, and the PowerPoint. Then we have those videos that Miss Kanisha was so gracious to upload for us. We also have one that's under development right now from Mandy at the Inland Empire Breastfeeding Coalition, explaining her consumer's experience and how getting connected to breastfeeding supports really improved her family's experience with breastfeeding. Now, I said we did more than just create a curriculum, right? So we also compiled a whole bunch of information to really supplement the information that our subject matter experts provided us, which is all linked here. So all national best practices or other publications that can support providers in speaking to families about breastfeeding. We also created social media collateral for you. Again, you can just download it, upload it to your social media, and you have posts, right, to disseminate information about breastfeeding. Okay, so that is the website. I'm going to share back my screen with the PowerPoint, and we're going to go ahead and get started with a little engagement exercise. For those of you who have been a part of our meetings previously, you know that we like to actually make you kind of work for it and make you go to the website and get a sense of how it would be for you to go and navigate the website yourself without us kind of walking you through it. So Pete is going to drop the link. I gave you the easy link. I gave you the link directly to the breastfeeding page. You're going to go to that link and you're going to locate that breastfeeding fact sheet. The 3 things that says 3 things you need to know about breastfeeding. Go on this page, download that flyer, and then when you're finished, just as a way to let me know that you were able to successfully do this, let me know if you've learned anything from the flyer or what you like about the flyer. Okay, so we're going to give you just about 2 minutes to go ahead and do this. If you need any technical support, please just unmute yourself and I can go ahead and talk you through it, okay? I can see folks moving their eyes. They're trying to navigate it and locate it. So I'll give folks just another minute or so. All right, so I'll ask folks to give me either like a thumbs up, I was able to find it, peruse the website, or I need an extra minute, or I really need help, and we can go ahead and move on to our next activity. Elizabeth is a thumbs up, but she's a frequent flyer on these webinars, so she knows how to peruse the website with ease, I would say. All right, Jessica's good over there. I like it. All right. Well, let's move on, because what we like to do now is actually not make you just listen to me, right? We want to actually give you an opportunity to connect with someone else and really chew on this information, right? With the targeted answer or targeted question of being, how would you use this information, right? Are you going to, with the 12 topics that we reviewed, really interested in going and downloading kind of these bundles and using it to educate your families? Maybe it's, I just really like the social media posts, right? Like my organization really needs to amp up the social media content for ourselves, and you guys just gave us content. You know, it could be, oh, I've been really wanting to engage with families about a certain topic, but I didn't feel like I had the materials to be able to do it with fidelity. You guys already did that lift, so I'm gonna try and incorporate that into my practice. Whatever it is, we just want you to kind of discuss it with a partner and then come back to us and let us know, how can we help you use this information, right? This information is only as good as you guys use it. So Pete, if you wouldn't mind putting folks in breakout rooms, it's only going to be a couple of minutes to just share again what you like and how we can support you using this information. Let's go ahead and join your breakout room when you're ready. Folks are staying in their rooms, which I think is always a good indication that they're actually having a good conversation, right? Welcome back.
Back.
I know it's never as long as you want it to be, right? But I've been in several convenings where you're like, oh gosh, this breakout room's not ending. So we try and find a balance. All right, so folks are still joining us, but I do know that we've had several folks join us kind of as I've been talking. So I want to open the floor just if you have any questions about what we've discussed, anything that I can answer while we have a few minutes. All right, so folks, everyone's back in the room. I just opened the floor just to give folks who joined us a little bit late, if you have any questions that I can answer about what we've reviewed. We're running early, so we have plenty of time to just go through, and I am happy to go back and review anything, okay?
This just came up in our group in terms of the website link. And Dorothy, worked for the county, and we know that county links, some link are blocked. So we just want to make sure this website is not blocked. But I think, Dorothy, you want to share the experience that you were trying to look at the website?
Oh, I'm sorry. So I had shared with my group that initially when I tried to log into the website, I was trying to log in from Internet Explorer, and it was telling me that I couldn't access the website. So but when I went into Google Chrome, it did allow me to access the website. So I guess to probably tell people ahead of time
Yeah.
that they'll need to be on another platform.
I think that's so, see, this is why we do these webinars. Thank you for sharing that, because we wouldn't have known. So I'll get right with our website manager today, and she'll either try and expand that functionality, or we can create some messaging as we move forward. Particularly, we know with county departments, our emails get blocked, or certain websites get blocked. So I think that's such valuable information. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I initially had that problem also. I just immediately opened up my Google and cut and pasted it in there. I think it's because Explorer wants us to update to the new Edge, but I don't believe we can update on our computers without an administrator.
Oh my goodness. Well, just
So
like a series of events to get to this great website. Well,
yeah, it's an IT ticket if you want to go through Safari. So yeah, it gives us a challenge sometimes, but I think it's the county set up that way. It's kind of a protection thing, so we don't get stuff from the outside.
yeah.
Yeah, well, here in the county, the default in the Department of Public Health, the default is Internet Explorer. But every morning when I open my computer, I have to change the default, and I change it to Edge or a Chrome, and then it works. Then Elizabeth, every morning you have to do that because no way to change it. I already talked to IT, and they say that there is no way to change it. That
Oh my goodness.
yeah, the default is Explorer.
Okay, well, good. Thank you for telling me that. I'll go in there
Yeah.
and switch it every morning.
Yeah.
But I think with county, you just gotta go through the right channel to make sure that the website, is approved. So once it's approved, and it should it should go through the Internet Explorer without any problem. So it just needs more exploratory backend for the county. But my thought is, I was surprised that it was a Word document instead of a PDF. So
Yes.
I was like, oh,
I know.
people won't be like manipulating the data, whatever, or the information.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was a surprising download. So.
I will tell you, Wendy, it was uncomfortable, but it was intentional. And the reason is that all of our information, we heard from the membership that they really want to co-brand everything. You get better access with your department heads. You get more expedited approval to share information if you can co-brand it. And people really want to take ownership of this information along with the MHN. And so we said, great, we'll give you the space to co-brand it. And that means that this information is going to live as a Word document, but we just, we'll have to message it in an ongoing fashion that the information we created lives on the website, and then it can be downloaded and co-branded as needed. So folks aren't, maybe leveraging materials that someone else downloaded. And so we'll just have to really, have some concerted messaging around it. But it was in response to people saying, we really want to own this with you. And we're excited to see how that plays out. But I'm glad you raised that.
Well, thank you.
Any other questions?
Katie, one of the things that I noticed, similar to what Dr. Lee was saying, I like that fact because if there was something we wanted to add, but in our group, I noticed the area about the community resources, and you put in there, I didn't go all the way in, but where you talked about substance abuse. One of the things that we're seeing a lot, because we provide parenting classes for the expectant parents and stuff, that has become a really big issue right now for a lot of our parents, and especially our younger population, and really not understanding the impact that can have on themselves and their unborn child. and the effects past that. And so having that in there, I'm not sure what all is in there because I didn't have a lot of time to go through that, but what impact that can have and having some of that information there, because us just telling them that does not necessarily do it. And because things have become legalized, they don't get it. You know, we have to be careful, and counties on, so they know that they will remove a child because that's child endangerment. We've seen a lot of that this year. We just had a parent come to us that just said, unfortunately, the father was driving inebriated and they just buried a 5-year-old because of that. So that kind of information, we need to have that so we can explain that to them, because they're still not getting it, you know. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, Kim, and I think you know me, I will be following up with you because we have the perfect topic in which I think getting your perspective on would just be so great. And the purpose of these bundles is really to create consistent messaging across a whole different type of service providers, right? So I go to my oral health care provider and I hear about substances to avoid during and after pregnancy. I then go to my doula and I hear very similar information. I then go to, you know, my breastfeeding consultant and I hear very similar information. And that starts to change folks' behavior, because what we heard is folks are hearing different kinds of information, pretty much the same, but just in a different manner, or maybe highlighting different aspects of a certain topic from different providers, and it leaves families in a position to choose who to most trust. And we are, you know, this process really then takes that decision-making process off of families and off of providers, right? Gosh, what are they hearing and how do I need to adjust? And say, we are all coming to you with the most important information you need to know about this topic. And then we're going to direct you to the experts who can help you. And so, Kim, there's a topic that says, if I can remember off the top of my head, but don't quote me, I think it's for November, and it's what to avoid during and after pregnancy. And I'd love to get you in on that so that way we can craft that messaging and use your experience to then help folks who maybe don't interact in that domain with families to understand, what's happening in the field.
We have parents that tell us that, and especially since the marijuana, that has changed so much over the last 12 months or 2 years. You know, we have parents that'll tell us, well, my mom said that I can smoke weed all the way up until such and such day and it doesn't have an impact, but we don't know what that is doing to the brain development of the unborn child. We don't know what that's doing to you, you know, and I'm afraid for them because they're just, but it's legal. Well, just because it's legal doesn't mean it's, you know, it's right for your baby. You know,
I love that. I think that's, if I were to even, you know, because I've been developing all these bundles with all these great experts, right? I'm in like categorizing mode, like, that's a great point. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's safe. And, you know, getting that language so other providers can do it with that level of, you know, authority, like, whoa, this is what you need to know. And here's where you need to go. Okay. Any other questions before we move on? We're almost wrapped up with our time together. Okay, if you have any thoughts, I will just invite you to put it in the chat of if there's opportunities that we can support you in using this information or getting it out to folks who you think could use this information. We are always just going to be, you know, we just rely on your thought process and we will do the work for you. So please let us know how we can really make this an invaluable set of resources for the community. Okay, so I said I had a couple of requests. This is my second request, which is we are now going to host our next annual summit, and it will be virtual. We're hearing from folks that they really like to not have to travel, especially across, you know, from different areas of the county. And so we want to be responsive to that for this time. And, you know, all things COVID. So there's a lot of considerations that we took, but we are so excited. We have accomplished so much in this past year, and we want to share that excitement with you. We want to really just celebrate with one another all that has come from this collaborative, all that you guys have done with one another, and then look forward, because the work isn't done. It's far from over. And so how are we going to approach the next set of activities and really deepen our work in the community? Okay, so Pete is going to throw that link in the chat right now. Please register, please attend. Don't just register, please attend, and then tell your friends and your colleagues to join us, because it's going to be quite a fun experience. We try and make it engaging and not just you listening to me and Lisa all day. Okay, so we're coming up on my third request, which is please give us some feedback on your experience today. You know, not only do we do it for our funders, First Five, we actually just really want to improve your time with us. We want to make sure that it's always a valuable use of your time, and move differently if it's not. So Pete is also going to put a link in the chat, and I would just invite you to please take 2 minutes to give us some feedback on your experience today. We graciously receive any and all feedback because it helps us improve your experience. So be as bold as you need to be to ensure that the next time you see us, we do it right for you, okay? All right, well, that is the end of all that I had to share with you. I hope you are leaving here today as excited as I am about these community education bundles. I just see it having such value for the community, and I'm just so excited that the network just has so many resources now to offer. You know, we have over 300 members now, which for those of you who were at our first little work group meetings with me and Lisa of like 5 people each, you know, it's just so great to watch this network grow and actually have resources now that you guys all collectively developed to improve outcomes for families. So super exciting, and we'll share more of that excitement with you on June 29th. But other than that, I will just wish you a good day and see you all hopefully in late June, okay?